Cloud and rain will arrive in some parts later, less windy but feeling chilly with highs of 6 degrees Celsius.
Good morning, I'm Graham Mack and this is Manchester, in the heart of Britain's northern powerhouse. A city that started out as the Roman fortress of Mancunium. The people who laid the foundations for this great city literally laid the foundations because they were builders and tradespeople. Today, Manchester's famous for its architecture, its culture, music, sport, media, science and engineering. None of it would be here without builders and trades. Because you made the buildings that became the homes, the schools, the universities, railway stations, the factories, the studios, the clubs, the theatres, the stadiums, everything. Well, now we're building something for you. Your own radio station. This is the station for builders and tradespeople. Fix Radio, Manchester.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
And this news just in, Shamina Begum, the lady who left Britain to join ISIS, has been offered a 4-bedroom house in Ancoats and decided to stay in Syria.
The Full Fix Breakfast, proudly sponsored by Osmo, the world's #1 polyox oil.
Rob, what's on the agenda today, pal?
Skimming my ceilings.
That's it. So Rob, right, at Fix Radio, we're brand new, we only launched this week, and we're trying to promote ourselves, and we're trying to come up with, like, I don't know, just some sort of promotional stunt. Say if we got, like Graham's idea was to do something controversial, to get something that we're going to get in the papers, causing a bit of controversy. He wanted, do you want to know what he wanted? A pregnant beauty pageant.
Not for me, thanks.
Not for you, the pregnant beauty pageant.
No, definitely not. They've got 5 kids, I've seen enough. Black women.
I've been up and down areas with a cosh, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so that I could kill him.
Okay.
It's really extreme wording.
When you hear him say it, you think it's clearly from a film, and then you realise, no, that really is Liam Neeson. And then you kind of think, wait a minute, Liam Neeson now sounds like all of the characters he played in films.
He does, doesn't he?
Does this bring us to the conclusion that actually Liam Neeson can't act?
He's just like that.
He really is like that.
He's just that intense.
It's like the director in Hollywood said, you know what, we're casting this, we could bring in an actor. I know. Why don't we bring in an actual arsehole to play this part?
I don't agree with the fact that there's, now 7 films called Mission Impossible. I mean, surely eventually they're going to come to the realisation that the mission is in fact possible.
On the phone is Big Tone. How are you, Tone?
I'm going to show you my tips.
Okay, what do you got then, Tone?
Well, today's tip is, if you're using your mobile while driving a vehicle, put it inside a big seashell, and that way the police will think that you're listening to the sea.
We need to do something. We need to pull a stunt this week. I'm going to have to drawn a line through my pregnant bikini pageant because I'm just getting too much flack about that. I think that would get us the attention we need, but Play Your Carbs Right was a game I came up with on the fly, which I kind of like, which is where we get celebrities and we weigh them, and then listeners have to guess. We give out the weight on the radio, and then the next celebrity that we stands on this, we give out the name. So, for instance, we've had Gary Lineker. Gary Lineker weighs this much. Okay, next is, I don't know, Lisa Riley. Higher or lower? I reckon lower. Do you think?
Lower.
And then you have to. Then we put her on, and then we announce her weight. And the thing that lets that one down is a lot of the female celebrities will not like us announcing their actual weight.
I think that a lot of the female celebrities maybe won't like coming up against other female celebrities.
Okay, all right. So let's just put a line through Play Your Carbs Right. Yeah, that's not going to be our idea. Something positive we can do. Something uplifting. Andrew, you've got... Well, you think we should do something positive and uplifting. You think we should torture Piers Morgan live on the air.
Yes, slowly.
Yeah.
The other one, Katie Hopkins, she'd be the good one. You could do it. In fact, that's it. Charity boxing match.
A charity boxing match between Piers Morgan and Katie Hopkins.
In fact, forget boxing match. Give them both sticks and make them fight to the death.
Yes.
And then there's no winner. Society is the winner.
We've got it.
It's so cold that Obsessions in Whitworth Street have been putting de-icer on the stripper poles.
The Full Fix Breakfast.
Good news, Gaz. The
Go on.
chicken dumped outside a stranger's home in Duckenfield is now at a rescue centre.
Oh, nice one. Bless.
Brought you this story yesterday, this CCTV footage. There's this Christine and Kevin Wilkinson's home in Duckenfield. For some reason, they have CCTV outside.
Paranoid. I mean, to be fair, Duckenfield, you would do.
Okay. And they captured the image of a lady in a grey hatchback drop off a chicken in a box, a live chicken. And
I shouldn't laugh. I'm laughing. I shouldn't laugh.
And it was a mystery, and they didn't know what they were going to do, and they gave it some sweet corn and some bird feed and left it in their garden overnight. Well, now it's under the care of the Every Bird Feather Rescue in Bolton. That's where it's gone.
Oh, that sounds so cute. Can I go and visit it?
I think you should. Maybe you should go today and get an interview with the biggest news story in Manchester right now.
I am fully up for going and interviewing a chicken in Bolton, if that's what we can do today after the show.
I think you should.
Let's do it.
Every Bird Feather Rescue in Bolton. You can talk to maybe some of the people there about... Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Some weird stuff about this story, though, that makes me uncomfortable. Maybe you could ask more. The chicken has been given a name now.
Okay.
Arnie.
What's wrong with that? It's a cute name.
It's a chicken, not a cockerel. Arnie's a boy's name.
Point. That's a very good point, Graham.
So, clearly, Christine and Kevin Wilkinson, chicken sexing, not one of their strong suits.
No, they've misgendered the chicken.
Yes.
This is, in 2019, when there's so many rows about gender,
yes,
we can't be misgendering chickens.
Yeah, so Christine and Kevin, I'm glad the chicken's not with them anymore. Because if they can't tell a chicken from a cockerel, then, where are we going? So, so that's the first disturbing thing about the chicken.
What else is
the other disturbing thing is, let me see if I can find it here.
Is it just that it's been given such a human name? We need to go today and give it a better name. I think.
Girl's name would be a good start.
Let's pitch a female name at them. We'll come up with some good ones. If anyone's got any female names for chickens,
yes,
send them in.
or give us a call. 0330 380 3333. That's 0330 380 3333. I'm looking for the other. Okay, here's the really disturbing thing. The bird had been dyed pink.
That was the last thing I expected you to say then.
Yeah, and there's the M.E.N. has a picture this morning of the bird on the car seat. Maybe it's going to the rescue centre in Bolton, and it is pink. It's a pink chicken.
Wait, why is it pink? What's going on?
According to the M.E.N., the bird has been dyed pink, which is a sign it might have been used in a party.
Sorry, mate, you're going to have to give me a few minutes to process that.
Yeah.
Is that...
But the way the M.E.N...
Is that a regular thing?
I'll read you the whole sentence. The bird has been dyed pink, which is a sign it might have been used in a party, then dumped after the celebrations.
Wait, why have they said that with such confidence?
I know.
Why have they said that?
Like, isn't news who, what, where, when, why, how? Hang on. Why would you... What kind of party do you go to where you dye chickens pink and celebrate? Hang on, there's a whole different story. This story has got many layers now.
What is bizarre is the way they said it, like it's a normal thing. Like at the police station, someone would bring in a chicken, it'll be pink, and you just go, that must have been at a party. That
party's just been discarded after the celebrations. Yeah, we get a lot of that. I mean, I've never even heard of such a thing. So this is, you need to track this lady down then who said this, because this is a quote from Stephanie Williams. She is the lady from Every Bird Feathered Rescue in Bolton. She got in touch after reading the article in the M.E.N. Or she may have heard us go on about it. Anyway, and it was her that said the bird has been dyed pink, which is a sign it might have been used in a party. You've got to find out more about these pink chicken parties. What is this all about?
Is it just me who kind of wants to go to a party that's full of a load of pink chickens?
No, I know. It's cruel. You shouldn't be dyeing animals different colours just for... and then dumping them.
It's horrible.
Gaz, this is investigative journalism. You need to go to Every Bird Feathered Rescue in Bolton, talk to the owner, Stephanie Williams, and find out what this is all about. Because this makes no sense.
I'm on it, Graham.
All right.
I'm on it.
Tomorrow morning, a special report exclusive on Fix Radio. Fix Radio Manchester. And you'd cry too if you didn't know where your Johnny had gone. It's Dave Stewart and Barbara Gaskin. Did I go too far?
Just a bit, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing! It's happened again! Woo! Greater Manchester is the world leader in drivers driving their cars onto tram lines. And in Oldham, we salute you, driver of the purple Ford car registration YE66 UVP, for driving onto the tram lines. His car has gone off the rails a lot like Liam Neeson's career.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
And how's this? The sound was so bad at the latest Spice Girls gig that a lot of people said they couldn't hear them. Weird thing is, it's being reported like that's a bad thing.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz. Brought to you by Osmo.
The Manchester Evening News is my Bible. And
for good reason as well.
Yeah,
There's some cracking stuff in there, isn't there? Just
brilliant. And there is a story here that has everything. The headline: Battle of the Banners. Bizarre dispute between one woman, her cat, and a builder's merchant.
This story, it just ticks all the boxes for us today. It's like a culture clash, a combination of different worlds that we love.
It is. Now, what the story is, there is a lady, her name's Wendy Snell, and she has a cat called Wilf.
Yes.
Now, she lives in an end terrace in Sale.
Yeah, which is right near the River Mersey as well.
Yeah. And kind of behind her house is a Travis Perkins. I think it's a new Travis Perkins.
It is new. It is new. And when they announced plans to set it up there were a few residents weren't happy about them setting a Travis Perkins up then at the time.
Right. Now, the entrance to the Travis Perkins goes down the side road at the end of her house. So Travis Perkins have put a sign pointing towards the street, but of course also pointing towards her house. that says now open, mega trading open.
Yes.
Wendy Snell now reckons that her cat Wilf is depressed because of the sign. Not the builders merchants. The sign.
Apparently the sign has gotten this cat so down and has startled it so much that Wendy has decided to take matters into her own hands, and she's made a sign of her own, hasn't she?
A giant banner, really professionally made, actually. There's no way, it's not a homemade banner. It's not like a bed sheet.
Money on it.
She spent some money on it. There's a huge picture of Wilf.
With a little sad face.
Well, you've mentioned the Compo face before, haven't you, in papers?
I mentioned people do this. They write, and they do it to the M.E.N. on purpose, and then you always see them on a front page, just underneath the headline, with their arms folded, looking really cross. And what it is, I like to call it a Compo face.
Now,
that's what they're after, isn't it?
To be fair to the M.E.N., they have the picture of Wendy pulling the Compo face.
Yeah, obviously.
But on this banner that she's hung under her windows that goes like almost the width of her house, there's a picture of Wilf with a cat Compo face.
It's a kitty Compo face.
It is. And the banner headline is, Travis Perkins depressed my cat.
You'd think it was made up.
No, this is a real story.
It was made up. This is a real story. Apparently, Wendy is so upset. Oh, sorry, no, Wendy's not upset. Wilf is
really upset, yeah.
That he can't hunt anymore. I don't know why he can't hunt anymore, but apparently the Travis Perkins is stopping him doing that.
Yeah.
It's not blocking the alley, by the way, but apparently it's stopping him hunting. That he's depressed, he's down, and he's just moping about the house.
Well, the bosses at Travis Perkins, to be fair to them, have said that they've worked with residents regarding their concerns about the site for years. But it seems it's not the site that's bothering it, it's the sign at the end of the alleyway that says that they're now open.
She's used the magic word as well in stories like this. She said, I was fuming when I saw the sign, and that's when I decided to order my own banner. Who on this earth comes to that conclusion? Who decides that after they see that banner and thinks, I'm going to get one of my own, and then decides to put a picture of the cat looking sad on it?
And starts the battle of the banners! The battle of the banners, Gaz! The thing ridiculous. Is, there's a picture of Wendy, and she looks normal. You've got this idea that the kind of person who would do this would be some crazy cat lady that wears, like, fluorescent clothing and 3 pairs of glasses at once and knitting needles in her hair. She's not like that at all. She looks just like normal.
I was picturing the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons, you know, the one who throws them outside the front door. That's what I was picturing. Wendy looks fine, normal.
Yeah, well, Wendy's fuming him. She's pulling a very good Compo face, got the arms folded, but not as good as Will. Not as good as the one the cat's pulling, no, not even close. So, Wendy is a business support manager. So she's not just some weird lady. She's like a business support manager. Sounds like a very important job.
Right, I don't want to sound too offensive here, but when you hear a story like that, you do automatically think it's probably a bored housewife.
No, she's a career lady by the looks, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. There's like I say, Wendy, hard-working woman. She just loves her cat. It's that simple.
But Wilf doesn't hunt anymore.
I know, he's not happy.
She said he used to be able to go straight out onto the River Mersey, but now he can't because of the sign.
I don't get how the sign's stopping that, really.
Cats are mad, though. I mean, one of our cats, Memphis, he's scared of ladders. If there's even ladders on the top of the truck, he drives him crazy.
7 years bad luck, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But Travis Perkins have said, we want to be a good neighbour and have a long and well-established heritage in Elm Grove. That's the name of the street in Sale where this is going on, where there's been a builder's merchants for more than 100 years. So maybe Travis Perkins have just taken over an existing site.
It is, because that's where there's a few places I know around there, Howarth Timber and all that. There's a few merchants around that area of Sale, so it's not like it's a new thing and all of a sudden there's all this noise that Wendy wasn't expecting. It's always been going on around there.
Yeah. Well, it's a big story. It's obviously big.
It's massive.
In sale.
It's groundbreaking.
Manchester Evening News are covering it, and they've sent a proper reporter. They haven't sent. Who's that? Who's the other one that gets all this? Who got the smelly Tesco's in that?
Yeah.
They haven't sent
was
her.
Her name?
I don't know, but the one they've sent is Charlotte Dobson. Do we know anything about her?
Charlotte Dobson. Let's have a look at her. I'm pretty sure that she's a big deal at the M.E.N.
Is she?
I don't think she's just. I don't think she's just like the intern.
Right.
So on her Twitter bio, it says covering the NHS and breaking news for the M.E.N.
So they've sent one of their top journalists down to cover this, which shows you what a big story this is.
It's massive. It's an important story, mate. It's what people in Manchester want to know about right now, I think.
I think everybody wants to know. Gaz,
forget Brexit.
This has to be your mission today, should you decide to accept it. You have to go to Sale, you have to go to Elm Grove, and you have to interview Wilf the cat and find out what this is all about and how the sign prevents him from hunting and how his quality of life has been ruined by this sign from a reputable organisation, Travis Perkins, who've got no form in this area for stopping cats hunting, as far as I know.
No, they've not been known for offending cats too much, I don't think, Travis Perkins.
No. All right, so you'll get onto that then today? You reckon you'll get down there today?
I'm gonna try and get all bases covered today, mate. I'm going to try and talk to Travis Perkins. I'm going to try and talk to Wendy. And obviously, most importantly, I'm going to try and talk to Wilf.
Okay, join us tomorrow morning.
Cheer him up.
For Gaz Drinkwater, Pet Detective.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz.
Prince, a Raspberry Beret. Gaz, from the time when all his songs seemed to be about colours. There was Purple Rain.
Oh, of course.
There was Little Red Corvette.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's Brown Bread. Is it too soon?
Hello, it's Stephanie Williams from the Bird Rescue.
Stephanie! It's okay for you to be live on Fix Radio over Manchester right now, is it?
Yes, that's fine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
First of all, how is Arnie?
Oh, well, he's very good this morning.
Now, hang on. You're supposed to be a chicken expert. You've just described him as a he. He's not a cockerel, is he?
I know, it's a she. No, she's a she.
Well, how did she end up with a fella's name?
Well, apparently the people who found her named her Arnie.
Right.
Stephanie, can we ask a quick request? It's Gaz, by the way. Can we change the name to Annie?
Yes.
Oh, great. That's now we're more comfortable with the whole thing, Steph.
Misgendering chickens.
That's right. Chicken sexing is one of the things this programme is quite proud of, and we don't want to ruin that reputation. Now, explain this to us. According to the M.E.N., and I think this is a quote from you, as the owner of the Every Bird Feathered Rescue in Bolton, it says, the bird has been dyed pink, which is a sign it might have been used in a party, then dumped after the celebrations. What sick party is there that people dye chickens pink?
Well, it happens more than you think. They do it for, gender reveals for babies. So sometimes they dye them pink or blue. I know. And I know, like, around Easter as well, they do dye little chicks different colours.
Oh, what?
So it does happen a lot more than you think.
What a horrible thing to do to them. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about Every Bird Feathered Rescue in Bolton. How many birds have you got, and where do they normally come from?
We normally rescue mainly wild birds.
Yeah.
So we get probably 200-300 a year, and we re-release them when they're better.
And what kind of birds usually then?
We get a lot of pigeons, songbirds, crows, corvids, that kind of thing.
Stephanie, I would absolutely love to visit you guys today, if that's okay, and potentially visit Annie, if that's okay.
I'm in work at the moment because I work as well as running the rescue.
Yeah.
But we can definitely sort something.
Okay, so we might be able to see you today, but we might be able to come round another day. Gaz can come round.
Great.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, meet Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interview Annie.
Can we actually interview Annie and get Annie on Fix Radio?
Ask her if she's okay.
We can.
That's
I'm not sure what she'll say, but yeah.
Stephanie, first of all, thank you very much for being there for birds to rescue them and for helping out with Annie in particular, but just for being there and all the work you do, because I'm guessing you don't get paid for this.
No, it's completely voluntary.
Oh, hey, well, thank you. Yeah, and secondly, and most important, thanks for returning our call. I didn't think you were going to call, and it is lovely that you called us up and we got you on the radio this morning, because we've been talking about this story for a couple of days. It's just a weird story.
It is, isn't it? I know. Oh, bless her. I know it is. We do get a lot of abandoned cockles, but I think this is our first died chicken, to be honest.
First died chicken.
We're quite happy that there's a relatively sort of happy ending coming out of this, just hopefully Annie's going to be okay the next few days. But she's in high spirits, isn't
definitely. She is, yeah, definitely. She's enjoying herself at the moment.
Stephanie Williams from Every Bird Feather Rescue in Bolton. Thank you so much for calling Fix Radio today. Cheers, Steph.
No problem, thank you.
Have the best day. Thank you, bye.
You too.
Bye. Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz.
It's a very special day on this day in history. Come back in time with me now. Gaz, did you know that on this day in 2007, the bloke that invented the pot noodle died?
Oh my goodness, no, I did not.
It was a very unusual funeral. He was laid to rest in a plastic cup, surrounded by starving university students.
Fixed Radio.
Big Tone on the phone. How are you, Tone?
Oh, happy days, the original Big Mac and Mr. Drink Scotch. How is Manchester today?
Very good.
It's all right this morning, mate.
With the chicken, I was thinking it might have been to a hen party, but apparently not.
Oh, right. Why did we not go there? Got a bit rough at Old Trafford the other night, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, the atmosphere was heated the other night, mate, seriously.
United are going to ask PSG to pay for the 800 seats that have been ripped out at Old Trafford. The away fans ripped out 800 seats, so the ground is now 800 seats short.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's loads they don't use at City, though. Maybe they could use a few of them.
Fixed Radio Sport.
We search for a stunt to put this radio station on the map. A radio station aimed at builders and tradespeople. On the phone is Big Tone. How are you, Tone?
I'm very, very well, Mr. Mack, and good morning, Manchester. Anyway, competition time or a stunt for Fixed Radio.
We need to get noticed, yeah.
Well, I was thinking something like a builder's bum competition.
Like a pageant. A builder's bum pageant.
Who's got the lowest jeans? How low can you go?
Yeah.
And how big is the bit?
Yeah. So points for bum cleavage.
In Piccadilly, Manchester, set up a little tent.
Yes.
As you do.
Yeah.
And invite the builders that are not working or that can maybe get a little bit of time off to come on down and just see how low you can go.
All right, then. Yeah, you saw the crescent, I saw the hole in the moon. All right, and thank you very much, Tone. It's not a bad idea, Gaz, what do you think?
It's not bad. It will certainly get us in the papers, won't it?
It will. Now, on the phone, we've got your postie.
Oh, have we really?
Your
Brian?
postie, your postman, Brian, he wants to help.
Yeah.
Could we have you slipping stuff through people's doors?
Like what? Like just putting like leaflets through?
Yeah, I want you to doorstep for us.
The thing is...
Would you be arrested for that?
It depends, because if I've got my uniform on, I could get in a bit of trouble.
How much trouble?
Like, lose job kind of trouble.
All right, well, if you're losing your living, then maybe that's not a great idea.
That's a non-starter, that one, I think.
Brian, what do you think we could do?
I'd be all in for that, but I mean, I'd go around with a big orange Royal Mail coat on, and I think it wouldn't go down too well, to be honest.
And we don't want you delivering mail in your spare time, because we don't want that. It's like any tradesman will tell you, any job round the house, it doesn't get done because they just don't want to be doing that when they get home. You know, so and you must be the same as opposed to you. Yeah.
No. Yeah, you want to be doing it during your work time, but as soon as it's over, that's it.
That's it, no more posting. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't give time calls when I'm not on the radio. Yeah.
No.
You don't walk around your kitchen going 10 to 7.
Someone asks me the time, I say, I'm sorry, I'm not working right now. All right then. Well, have you got any other ideas, Brian, of a stunt? You know, maybe involving Gaz?
What, to like advertise yourself?
Yeah,
as
get us
a
known.
radio station?
Yeah, so we get a bit of press, maybe get ourselves on the telly or something. What do we have to do?
We not tried like a big billboard or anything like that?
A billboard of some kind. A billboard. Where could we put a billboard?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, obviously, with you being a Manchester-based radio station,
yeah,
put it somewhere in Manchester where you've got like your people working office-based jobs and stuff like that. To be able to see it on the way to work. Well, you're not an office-based radio station, are you?
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to look into it and see how much a billboard is, but I imagine that's going to be way out of our price range.
Tradespeople, though, aren't you?
Yeah. Tradespeople have got to be able to see it. Yeah.
You want it so that people that work for construction companies are.
Yeah. Where could we put a billboard where people who work in construction would see the billboard? Yeah.
We could do with doing something on site, like actually on a construction site.
Well, is it like big construction projects going on in Manchester at the moment where
there's hundreds of them.
There's going to be a few where a lot of builders are going to be working, where you're going to get a lot of. You can aim it more towards them.
Yeah,
and you're going to get quite a lot of people listening in, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something there, Gaz. There's something there, you know.
I mean, I'm looking out the window now. I can just see cranes across the whole skyline. So I'm going to go onto their sites, see if I can get any ideas.
Just get Gaz's big face on a billboard or something. I'm sure that'll get you a few listeners.
Brian, thanks for the idea. We'll investigate the billboard option. I think that might be a goer.
It'll either work one way or the other. You'll get loads of listeners, or you get none at all.
My mate Brian, he's running the Manchester 10K this weekend for Crohn's and Colitis UK. So yeah, big up Brian.
Good for him. It's amazing, isn't it? Because the difference between walking and running, like if you close the streets and walk through the streets of Manchester, that's a protest. But because you're running, it's now an athletic event.
Yeah, and also, on any other day, 30,000 people chasing a lone Ethiopian through the streets of Manchester would be considered a hate crime.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
Have we had any ideas for a stunt?
Yeah, we've had a few tweets actually. Funnily enough, the interestingly named Phil Jones got in touch. He says, "Morning guys, a great stunt to pull would be to send Gaz up a tower crane and hang a great big Fix Radio banner from the top." Phil Jones Hammersley, appreciate your tweet, mate.
Thanks, Phil.
Why did you have to say me? Why is it me that has to do that?
I don't know, Gaz. Do you know what though? I think that's a belting idea.
Why do I have to do it?
Well, we can get a banner. We've now got someone to go up into the crane to do this. All we need now, Gaz, is a crane.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So, who's going to go out and find a crane?
Your mission should you decide to accept it, is to find us a nice big tower crane on one of the big sites in Manchester. You need to find us a crane. You've made an amazing scientific discovery, Andy. What is it?
Tea is an evil substance.
Right.
It's more dangerous than beer, so please try avoid drinking it.
Yeah.
I discovered this the other night. I'd had 14 pints a day till 3 a.m. at the pub, while my wife was just sat at home drinking tea. You should have seen how violent she was when I got home and angry.
Right, so I've come into Simply Aquatics. We're trying to help out Wilf. Did you hear this story, mate, about Wilf, the depressed cat?
Oh yeah. It's they built the builders merchants next to it.
Yeah, that's it.
It happens.
But it's upset the cat, and we're not happy about it. So we're thinking, what can we do to help Wilf out? And I thought, let's put together a kitty hamper, bring it to Wilf, and maybe it'll put a bit of a smile on his face. That's exactly it. And remember, this is a depressed cat that we're talking here, mate. So
it's a shame for him.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've got any of the super strength
territory's been invaded.
Exactly. His territory's been invaded by builders, and it's war on the streets. So we're wondering, what can we put together for him that might cheer him up a bit?
Well, he's going to need some dreamies, isn't he? That he'll be able to crash through the plasterboard at the builder's merchant, won't he? So a good couple of packets of dreamies, that'll cheer him up, some treats.
Right.
And then it's got to be the obligatory cat toy.
Yeah.
That he can roll around and...
Well, I mean, apparently he can't go hunting anymore, so it would make sense, wouldn't it, to get...
Yeah, the cat toy and some treats,
And get a load of little mice scurrying about the house, and then he can go hunting in his own gaff.
Well, I wouldn't say live ones, but yeah, we've got some toy mice.
Oh, well, I did think that, actually. We're at Timberley Aquatics. Can I not get some live mice like you give to the snakes?
Unfortunately not. No.
All right, okay, fair enough.
Not be very fair on the mice, would it?
No, I guess not, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. Well, I'll do that. Have you got any catnip as well?
We have, we've got a spray that we can be sprayed, spray around his garden and whatnot, and around the house, absolutely,
Someone told me once that catnip's like cat LSD.
That's about right,
so if I give him that, he'll just be lay on the floor staring at his hands.
He'll have a good 10 minutes and then he will be sparked out,
Okay.
But positively relaxed and quite chilled.
Right. Well, and happy.
And very happy indeed.
Happy is the main thing, right? Let's get this together then and get Will some stuff.
Yeah, so we got this big cat treat hamper together. I got a little sympathy card as well, with deepest sympathy. In the middle, put a big Fix Radio sticker. Put a big Fix Radio stickers all over the present. I went round to deliver it to Wilf, and they weren't in again.
So what did you do?
But I left it outside the front door.
Okay.
I thought, I'll just leave the little present outside the front door. Hopefully none of the other cats get to it.
Yes.
And when Wendy got home, she got it, and she sent me a message of thank you from Wilf. It's a picture of Wilf with his big happy face.
Right.
Next to all these Fix Radio toys that we've managed to sort out and some catnip.
Yes.
She's even sent a video, which includes a little video message from Wilf. And
really?
I mean, I'm going to play it off my phone here.
Okay.
See if you can hear it.
Okay. I heard him.
There
he is.
That I believe means thank you.
Yes.
I'm no longer depressed. You've turned my life around in cat.
Right. So you do speak. You do have a smattering of cattish. Yes.
Well, I do. I mean, we've had Bobber for 6 months now, so yeah, I'm nearly fluent.
I only know one word that cats say. Memphis, our cat, he comes up to and he goes meow, and meow means food. And I go,
How'd you figure that one out?
Well, because he says whenever he wants food, he goes meow, and I go, you want some meow? Okay, let's give you some meow. So now I call it meow as well. So
I thought your theory was that meow is short for let me out.
It is as well.
Yeah, let me out, let me out, meow, meow, meow.
The word meow has got lots of meanings.
But main thing here, mate, is we've cheered up Will.
This is brilliant.
He looks like he's happy.
Yes.
And I feel like we may have solved this dispute. We've still not heard from Travis Perkins here, their side of things.
Well,
but
that's all right.
As long as Wilf's happy, then I think that they'll carry on doing what they're doing anyway.
Yeah, so we need to hear from Wendy, don't we? Because has this done it? Has the cat treats, has this fixed it? I mean, was it this easy?
Well, there's more to this.
Okay, what's the latest?
At 31 minutes past 7 this morning, I got a message from Wendy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I admire Wendy for this, because fair play to her. You know, get what you can out of this. I do not blame her at all, but she's put this. If you do get chance to talk about Wilf on the radio this morning...
I think we might be able to squeeze it in.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Travis Perkins listens to your show or not. Wilf said... Yeah, that's right. Wilf said.
Yeah.
Wilf said this morning he would like some trees planting to hide the racking. It gives him some outside space again.
This is it. This is the answer. I said this the other day. There's always a way to sort something out with bribery. Isn't there?
Well, it's not only that, but I can actually see where she's coming from as well there, Wendy, because a few trees next door to her, because the yard is literally plonked next door to her house. A few trees there. I think Wilf would be very, very happy with that, actually.
Okay, so now all we need to do is talk to Travis Perkins.
Yes.
And ask them for the trees, and this is a happy ending, and once again we are the show that saved the city.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we need to do now. Get in touch with Travis. I mean, Travis Perkins can surely spare a few trees. Surely they can sort that out for her.
Yeah, surely they can.
Press the car. It's the least they could do. Come on, guys.
All right. Well, to be fair to Travis Perkins, who are probably listening, let's give them a chance. Let's wait till tomorrow. If we've heard nothing from them by tomorrow, then we'll ring them and ask them.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Travis Perkins, you got 24 hours. This is easily solvable, and we can have a happy cat. Fix. The Manchester Evening News, I sent them some stuff when we started, and I sent them like a bio of you and a bio of me, and I sent them the audio of our, first day, and nothing. I don't know if we're the right story for them, though. Honestly, I said it was frustrating me last night, and I opened up the laptop and I said to Julie, have you seen this website for the M.E.N? I said, just read the 3 top stories, whatever they are, just read them out. And she reads out, depraved monster raped a woman after 9-hour ordeal. Murder investigation in Swinton. Paul Pogba has a new car. That's all you need to know about the M.E.N.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz.
This is Manchester's radio station for tradespeople and builders. We've been on the air just over a week, and still not enough people have heard about us, and we need to get known. And so the idea we got from Brian, your postman, with the Manchester skyline just scattered with cranes, we need to get one of those cranes and we need to hang a big banner on it saying Fix Radio. So not only the people on that site, but the people on other sites, the people driving by and the people on the way to work, maybe on the bus, maybe on the Metrolink, they'll see it and go, Fix Radio, what's that? They'll find out more. They might Google us. They might rescan their DAB radio. They may decide to download the app so they can listen to us on the app. They might listen to us online. They'll know about Fix Radio. Now, it's a brilliant plan, but we don't have a crane.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You asked around yesterday, you drew a blank.
No one would let me have the crane. I mean, it was, to be honest, people were just confused. I was just coming up to them saying, "You got a crane that I can have this week?" Maybe if we did it in a few months, maybe I could have sorted it out.
We haven't got time.
We need it done now.
We haven't got time. We won't be here in a few months if we don't get known now.
Probably not. Exactly.
0330 380 3333. That's the number to call. 0330 380 3333. If you can help us out with a crane, I mean, it has to be a big one. It has to be on a big site. It has to be something that... Wait a second. No. Hello, who's this?
Hi, Fix Radio. I hear you're looking for a crane.
Yeah, funnily enough. Yeah, we are. Who's calling?
Hi, my name's Declan McGough from McGough Construction. I'm calling up to offer you the use of the crane this week at one of our Manchester-based development projects.
Wait. Hold on. So you're from McGough, and you've actually got a crane that we can use?
Yeah, it's located at our downtown development project in Manchester. It's a large residential development.
I think I've been past that one. Is that by the River Irwell? I think I've been past it on the tram.
Yeah, it's on Woden Street on the banks of the River Irwell in Manchester. It's a short hop from Manchester City Centre.
That's like top real estate, isn't it, in town? Because you can get into town really quick, like on the tram and everything, but they're like luxury apartments that's been going up. There's a few already up, isn't there? And then there's like the latest ones with the crane on.
Yeah, it's a Manhattan-inspired apartment scheme. There's 368 units in it. 1, 2 and 3 bedders.
Wow!
And I mean, if the tram's going past it as well, and that's just extra publicity that we need, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The tram runs within about 20 metres of the development.
Hey, Gaz, this is a cracking spot. I can't believe he's going to loan you the... Can we have this crane, then?
Then to have the crane, tomorrow if you want. Our partners, K-Rod, are using the crane. It's their crane, and they're our build partners. I'm sure they'll be happy to help.
So we can get that giant... How high is this crane?
Oh, 40 to 50 metres high. There's a couple of cranes on the site.
Gaz, 40 to... What are you like with heights, Gaz?
I'm all right. How do you even get up a crane?
Yeah, it's a long walk up a long ladder.
Oh, no! Right, we're outside the Moss Trooper pub in Timpley on Fix Radio right now. So I'm here with Chris. Chris, I've got to ask you this, mate. It's the big question on everyone's lips this week, right? Remain or leave?
Definitely leave.
Definitely leave. Do you not think he's done a good job so far, or?
About?
You know, I mean, I think he's done a good job with the team, hasn't he?
Who?
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want him to remain or leave?
Oh, right, yeah, definitely. Definitely stay.
Definitely stay.
Definitely stay.
The Full Fix Breakfast.
It's Graham Mack Gaz in the fog in Salford. The temperature -2 degrees.
This is the day of our stunt where I only found this out 48 hours ago. I'm going up a massive crane just outside of Manchester city centre, and of all days, today is foggy.
That might help you though, because you mightn't be able to see down from 150 feet up, 45 metres.
That's actually a very good point, yeah, because you've got to look down, haven't you, because of the ladders. So I've got to look where my feet are going, so there's no way of avoiding looking down. That's the scariest thing about this whole thing.
Gaz, you're going to take one for the team.
I'm scared, Graham. I can see it now and it's terrifying.
We're just outside the site. The site is downtown. It's an apartment block by the River Irwell. You might know it. And McGough's have got their name. They're the construction company. They've got their name on the big blue crane. So if you've been past it, you'll know which one it is. We can't actually see it in the fog right now. Anything could happen this morning.
There is a porn parody of the new Lego movie.
You have the penis of resistance. We need to figure out how the brick to use it.
Jeez.
Who's watching it? I just don't know who's watching it.
What sick person finds this? What fetish? What's the Lego fetish? Is that it?
Oh.
Pants Craggle is making my hinge tile tingle.
Want to go down on Craggle Rock?
That's it. We're not doing any more. I refuse to play any more of that.
And what's it called?
The Lego movie.
They missed a trick there. Shouldn't it be the Legover movie?
Yes!
Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
And here we are in the cabin on the site at downtown in Salford. And Gaz, you getting nervous about going 150 feet up a tower crane?
I'll be honest, I never give this enough thought, I don't think, especially before agreeing to it. I definitely should have thought this through a little bit more. Now I've seen the crane.
I've told you the motto on this show is to bite off more than you can chew and chew like buggery.
Yeah, there we go.
So that's what we do. All right, so what's your name?
Peter.
What's your job here, Peter?
I'm a tower crane operator.
So, how long does it take you, an experienced man, from the ground to get to your cab?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what should take him?
It depends how cold it is. If it's really cold, it'll take 5 minutes.
Okay. And how did you get into this line of work?
I just drifted into it about 20 years ago. Worked on construction sites and then started on the tower cranes.
Yeah, do you like the job?
Oh, it's amazing, yeah. It's amazing.
What's the best bit about the gig?
Sitting up there in the cabin, it's nice and peaceful, nice and quiet.
All right.
You've got your kettle, you've got your radio, you've got your heater, 2 heaters, and it's nice and warm up there.
I have to ask this question. If you're drinking tea up there, what do you do when you want to go?
Well, if I put it to you like this, you take a bottle of water up, you drink that, and when you bring it back down, it's a different colour.
Yesterday, Gaz, I went to the dentist. For a lot of people, they hate the dentist or they're scared of the dentist. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but I'm the other way. I just don't mind it. I had a fracture repaired.
Was that a painful one, or?
Well, no, because they put your face to sleep. In fact, I nearly nodded off in the chair. But the thing I don't like is what's happening tonight. At 6:30, I got to go back. I got to go to the hygienist. And I can't stand the hygienist.
Well, I think the hygienist is all right. It's better than a dentist.
Yeah, but I don't like being told off. Honestly, when I go to get my car washed, the failed asylum seeker that washes my car doesn't tell me off for making it dirty.
This weekend, I might possibly be interviewing Michael Carrick.
Really?
Yeah, ex-Manchester United player. Now, there is a catch to this, mate.
Yeah?
Michael Carrick is running the Manchester 10K this weekend with his foundation. However, I'd have to do the 10K.
And how's that going to work out?
I just want to make it clear, I cannot run at all.
Right.
You know what, mate? If I ran the 10K and finished it, the next 10K the year after, they'd be raising money for me.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz.
Duran, I know you heard me the first time. And Rio, which takes me back to my days working in the workshop at Warrington Tool Hire, because we had the radio on all day, Gaz, and we used to just make up words to the songs that came on the radio. They weren't particularly clever, but that one, we used to sing, her name is Rio and she dances with no knickers on. Told you. And there was another one, I forget who sung the song, and it went, why does your love hurt so much? I don't know who did that song. Anyway, every time that would come on the radio, all three of us in the workshop, we'd all chant, 'cause you still got your tights on, baby. International news now, Gaz.
Okay.
Gender Equality Awards, they were presented yesterday in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates.
Interesting.
Yes. All the winners were men.
Stop it. No, they weren't.
I'm not joking.
No, they weren't.
That sounds like a joke, doesn't it? It's like, hey, have you heard about the Gender Equality Awards they had in the United Arab Emirates? All the winners were men.
I was about to stand up there and say, like, oh, well, the UAE, it's nice to see they're changing a little bit, aren't they? Last few years, going a bit more liberal.
Yeah. No. And they have these awards every year.
Why?
I heard that there was a female winner last year.
Okay.
But she was a camel. On this day in 1894, in Paris, the first professional striptease act was performed.
What defines a professional striptease act?
Well, she must have done it for money, and people must have paid to see it, I'm guessing, because, of course, I'm sure that there'd been a striptease before it turned professional. I suppose becoming a stripper is a lot like this job.
Why?
Well, most of us who start doing this job, we start like in our bedrooms with our bedroom radio station, am I right?
Yeah.
Right. And let's face it, stripping off usually starts in a bedroom. So maybe that's how you get there. It's exactly the same as radio. You start in a bedroom, just with somebody you know.
And then work your way up.
Work your way up to doing it for people you don't know, and eventually say to yourself, hey, I should be getting paid for this. On site here in Manchester, just before Gaz goes up 150 feet to the top of the tower crane to lift a huge fixed radio banner.
You know, you don't have to say how high it is every single
time. It's
the
equivalent of 10 double-decker buses stacked on top of each other, and Gaz gets vertigo standing on the curb. I mean, so this is going to be a big deal. Let's talk to one of the experts here. So, what's your name?
I'm Joe Jones. I'm senior site manager.
See, so you've seen it all. You've seen, people go up cranes. You've seen what it's like.
48 years in the industry.
There you go. You're the man. How's he going to go then?
I think it's these conditions are going to make it worse today, especially up top. It's so bitterly cold when you get to that height. In fact, when you come down, I think you'll find your balls are like a corduroy cap.
Oh, no.
Mum's shock at Lion Toys Willie as she calls for them to be banned. Now, I'm not sure...
Any story that starts with Mum's shock or Mum's disgust, you know it's going to be a good one.
So she's not happy that a child's toy lion came with an added extra. And It was her daughter who got this thing, who's a 3-year-old. And there's a picture of it. So it's a plastic lion. It's not like a furry lion. It's a plastic lion. So it's like a moulded thing. And there's like a moulded outline. It's not even, an appendage it's sticking out or anything. It's just a moulded outline, making the lion a slightly more anatomically correct.
I just love the idea that there's someone at this toy manufacturing place whose job it is to make the little lion willies. He's head of the willy department.
You can understand how that could happen in the factory where they make Tickle Me Elmo. Because a new starter might be given a task, and then they might find that Elmo is now anatomically correct. And then the shout might go out, No, Miss Jones, I said give him 2 test tickles. Big Simpsons news this morning.
Do you like The Simpsons, Graham?
I do, but I haven't watched The Simpsons for a while.
And, well, lucky you, because for me, The Simpsons is one of my favourite TV shows ever. Back in the day, it was so of its time, it was brilliant, it was classic, almost ahead of its time, really. But it's just been renewed for season 31 and 32, and I am very much of the opinion that is about 15 seasons too long.
Okay.
It's been rubbish for ages, mate.
It used to be great, though, didn't it?
Well, it used to be, like, cutting edge of comedy. There were Simpsons clips which stand up so well today.
There was an episode I liked. Maybe it's just because the game we're in is the one about radio.
This is the DJ3000. It plays CDs automatically, and it has 3 distinct varieties of inane chatter.
Hey, how about that weather out there? Whoa, that was the caller from hell. Well, hot dog, we have a wiener. Looks like those clowns in Congress did it again. What a bunch of clowns.
How does he keep up with the news like that?
How's it keep up with the news like that?
The problem is, mate, that'll be the next thing. We'll be replaced by machines sooner or later.
Well, we have been on Capital and Heart.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz.
We're staring at this crane, this how big was it exactly, Pete?
Just short of 150 feet.
Just short of 150 feet. And I'm about to climb it for Fix Radio. We've got our scaffolding cube. The fog has disappeared from Manchester, pretty much. And I'm about to get going up this massive crane. Why do I keep saying yes to things? Morning, Tone.
Morning, boys.
What do you got for us this morning?
My tip for today is for all the tradespeople and DIYers out there.
Yes. Now, wait. Before we go any further, let me just make this clear for anyone who's, discovered Fix Radio by accident, that we are a tradespeople's radio station. So we have people on the air who understand things about being blue collar and being we know what WD-40 is. Most disc jockeys on radio stations think WD-40 sang Red Red Wine. That's the difference between Fix Radio and all of the others. Okay.
Well, don't forget as well, the people like myself that get involved are tradesmen and women as well.
You're an electrician, aren't you? Yeah.
I am indeed,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Qualified.
Okay. So what's...
Never done me any harm.
Right. So what's the tip, Tone?
So today's tip is for all the DIYers and tradespeople is, if you can't fix it with a hammer, you've got an electrical problem.
Okay, that's when you're doing service work, that is an excellent tip. Thank you very much, Tone.
You're more than welcome. Have a nice day.
Tone's Tips. Join us again at this time tomorrow morning for another tip from Tone on Fix.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack and Gaz.
Who's this?
It's Mark.
What can I do for you, Mark?
Right, do you know about this new law that's come out? I've just been pulled up off the police for speeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing 37 in a 30 zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just asked me for my phone. He's confiscated my phone, mate.
Well, hang on a second.
Car's pulled up, coppers have pulled me up, and took the phone off me.
Took your phone off you? What's that all about?
Took my phone off me because they're going to measure up my speed off my phone.
They do what?
Yeah.
They measure your speed off your phone?
They're watching you. You've got cameras checking your edge everywhere you go. You can't do anything these days.
So are you telling me they take your phone off you?
Take your phone off you.
And the phone has registered your...
law now.
Yeah.
Your phone has GPS. What they do is you can get your phone, they put it in this box, yeah?
Yeah.
And the phone then tells you how fast you're going.
No!
Yeah.
So your own phone dobs you in?
Your phone's a grass, mate. It's a snitch. It's a snitch.
And you've seriously been given a speeding ticket that way because they're taking your phone off you?
Yep.
So anyone's got a phone on in the car right now, if they're speeding, if the cops pull you over, they can take the phone off you and find out what speed you were doing?
Yep.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's not on.
What I'm worried about, mate, is if they start, looking for him with pictures.
And you could be in trouble. Hey, Mark, thank you very much.
All right, mate.
Cheers.
See you in a bit.
See you. That's a frightening new trend in policing, that they are legally allowed to take your phone off you and then check the GPS on your phone to find out what speed you were doing and can issue you a ticket based on that. Anyone else had this experience? Give me a call. 0330 380 3333.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
We don't normally talk about fashion on this show, but there is a fashion item making the news this morning, and it's just totally bizarre. It's from a company called Boohoo.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of this?
No, I just know that Boohoo sometimes come out with controversial clothing items.
Okay, well, this one's a real hit. It's a bodysuit for ladies, and the leg line, would you call it, is cut very, very high, meaning there's a thong at the front. It is the thong front bodysuit.
Right, I've got an image of what this looks like in my head, and it's not pretty. Have you got a picture of it on your screen there?
I'm looking at a picture of it now.
Turn your screen round.
There you go. Now...
That's not real!
Unless the girl in the picture doesn't have the anatomy that's normally there, she's a freak. She's a Barbie doll. There's nothing going on. Well, this girl looks like she's got this thing on backwards. And it's not bothering her at all. And I'm sure it would cause a front wedgie because there's no gusset. And the daft thing is, you're supposed to wear trousers or a skirt over this thing, aren't you? So no one's going to see anyway. So why go through all the bother of it? You know what I mean?
I don't know why they post the picture. Why wouldn't they put the picture up of her wearing a skirt or trousers with it, if that's supposed to be how you wear it, though?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, they cost £9, and they've sold out in every size apart from size 14.
Really? Well,
I'm glad that's not the picture. It looked like Mick Jagger being gagged.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
Gaz is climbing the 150 feet to the top of a tower crane. I'm here with Jack Edwards, and he's about level with us now, so he's managed to climb 10 stories up.
Gaz, how you feeling? Fabulous.
Gaz has just shouted back to us that he's fabulous. Now, we don't know if he's being sarcastic. You all right, Gaz? Pose for a picture, mate. We're just taking it. You'll be able to see this, fixradio.co.uk, or if you follow us on Twitter, you'll be able to see this picture of Gaz. About 10 floors up.
Yeah, what's that running down his leg?
Hi, mate, it's Andy.
How are you, Andy? What can I do for you?
I've just seen a guy about the box that they've got. The other guy was talking about before with your mobile phone grassing on you.
Oh yeah, it was Mark. He called up. He said the police pulled him over, took his phone off him, plugged it into some weird box, and then gave him a speeding ticket. The phone
out of order.
Phones record the speed you're doing when you're driving along, and police are now issuing tickets based on information from your own mobile phones. Yeah, what about it?
I've had absolutely the same, yeah.
Really?
I was on Washway Road.
Yeah.
I was on Washway Road the other week heading towards Altrincham.
Yeah.
They pulled us over and they pulled me straight in, took my mobile off me.
Yeah.
Wanted to check it.
Yeah.
They put it into this box and phone's grassed on it. 36 in a 30.
Wow, and did you get a fine for that?
36? Yes. And I've got to do a speed awareness course this week.
Joking.
Jeez, this is out of... Well, they can't be doing this. It's taking your phone off you. And then... All right, Andy, thank you very much for sharing.
Thanks very much, mate.
The most beautiful ladies in the world are right here in Manchester.
Yes.
And a friend of yours is in the news today because she's through to the final of another pageant.
Yeah, I thought it was really good news, this story, especially after what I would think is a bit of a confusing injustice.
Yes. Well, let's talk to it. Natalie, good morning. How are you?
Hiya, good morning. I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good, Nat.
Now, I want to know what your last name is because Gaz was telling me it's Pike, but the M.E.N. has a different name. So this is a bit embarrassing, Natalie, but what is your name?
Oh my gosh, I know, it's so confusing. I got married last year, so I took my husband's name, which is Kavalek.
Yes.
But because I work in the media as well, I present for Manchester City, and I've never really changed my maiden name at work, which is still Pike.
Oh, I see, right.
I think at some point I just need to take the plunge and just do it.
Okay. Now, this latest pageant, this is a Mrs. pageant, isn't it?
It is. So, yeah, so everybody will know, like, Miss World and Miss Universe. But, yes, there is another world of pageants out there that is for married women as well.
Okay, and which one is it?
So, I'm through to the final of Mrs. Galaxy UK.
Right, Mrs. Galaxy. Okay, so that means it's the Milky Way versus what, Girls from Andromeda?
Yes, basically, yes. And they keep finding new planets all the time, don't they? So
That's right, yeah. Well, I've heard that those girls are a bit minging. I think you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Okay, but the Manchester Evening News, their headline is something that's probably haunted you a little bit. It says, Beauty Queen and Manchester City presenter stripped of her title defies critics by reaching another pageant final. Just explain what title it was that you were stripped of.
So yeah, basically last year I won the title of Mrs. Scotland because I was born in Edinburgh. I lived in Manchester, moved to Manchester when I was 10 and grew up in Manchester, but I was born in Edinburgh.
Right.
And I won the title of Mrs. Scotland, so I was supposed to be jetting off to Mrs. World,
yes.
Which is one of the biggest sort of pageants for married women in the world in China. And then sadly I had to step down / got forced into it before I got disqualified because they didn't like my modelling past.
Your modelling past, and what was it?
Well, I used to, in my 20s, I used to do men's magazines, so I was on the cover of FHM, Zoo, Nuts, all of the men's magazines that were out at the time. I had a really successful career and I was really lucky, and I travelled the world with FHM and in sort of around 2004, 5, 6, I was really well known for it. Yeah, no, they didn't like it, and so I graciously stepped down before it became too much.
Were you topless in those pictures?
Well, in some of them, yeah, because it was men's magazines. If you remember in the early 2000s, it was like, they were huge. And so, yeah, some of the pictures were sexy and some of the pictures, they were FHM.
Right, I see. So, and that was their problem. So, but in pageants, there's a bikini element, there's a swimsuit element, isn't there?
There is, yeah, there is. So there's a swimsuit element in this competition, and I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest.
So it seems that they've got something against nipples, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's what it seems
It's like cleavage is fine, but we draw the line at the nipple. It does seem strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
when it's a celebration of the beauty of women. But not that bit. But not that bit. You can't. Not that bit. Yeah.
Well, I personally think nipples are wonderful.
Right. Well, I'm with you on that one. Yes. Okay.
Right, just completed the climb. I'm being very careful where I look right now because genuinely terrified. My mate Pete's helped me up here.
Gaz, can you stop your knees from shaking, please, mate?
I can't stop them, I'm trying.
A lot of people not happy this morning finding out that Greater Manchester Police are confiscating mobile phones off drivers and then plugging the phones into some kind of gizmo and working out how fast they were going and issuing speeding tickets. You're not happy about this, Kev?
It's not right, is it, that? If they've got the time to be doing that, then they've got too much time on their hands, haven't they?
You think? Well, they should be out catching proper criminals.
Yeah, how many stoppings are getting done every week? Why are they not out sorting out?
Well,
that's outrageous. It's invading your privacy, isn't it? What are we going to do with all the speed cameras then? Take them down?
Well, we clearly don't need them, and didn't somebody work that out like years ago before we, closed the M6 or messed about with the M6 for 3 years building a giant speed trap when they could have just caught you this way?
Yeah, exactly. What a big waste of money that is.
Yeah.
There are some people that are for it. Like, I was in Alty at Travis Perkins yesterday, and there was a fella in there saying that it's great, and it'll stop people speeding, and it'll save lives.
No, I'm not having that, Gaz. I can't. No chance. What about people that driving's part of the job and they've got to have they've got to have their phones on and, for sat nav and stuff like that?
Yeah. Could this be as big a deal as the poll tax, you reckon? We could have protests against this.
It's not right, is it? It needs to be stopped.
Needs to be stopped?
Definitely.
All right, Kev, thanks for your call this morning. It's obviously something that's touched a nerve here with Manchester. If you've got a view on this, or if you've been pulled over by police and they've taken your phone off, you put it in a gizmo, and they've worked out what speed you were doing, and you've been issued with a fine, like lots of people have called up this morning have said has happened to them, I'd just like to know just how prevalent this is, because this looks like it's a bit of a gold mine for the government. Looks like they've found another way to gouge us. What are your thoughts on this? 0330 380 3333.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
Hi, Travis Perkins, Martin speaking.
Hello, Martin. It's Graham Mack Gaz from Fix Radio. How are you?
Not bad, yourself?
Very good. We're the radio station for tradesmen and builders in Manchester.
I know, yeah.
I came in the other day.
Oh, you saw Gaz when he was in the other day?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Hey, we've got...
Funny guy with the red hair.
Funny guy with the red hair, that's how... that's Gaz.
That's what my mum calls me.
Right. Well, we've got some great news.
Brilliant. What have I won?
Well, you haven't won anything, Martin, but I think Travis Perkins are the big winners here. In fact, everyone's a winner here. You know the lady at the end of the street that's got the banner up because she thinks Travis Perkins depressed her cat. Yeah, that's her name, Wendy Snell. Yes, Wendy Snell.
Yeah.
She's been in touch with us because we're trying to sort this out. We don't like a feud. And we know that Travis Perkins, with us being a radio station for tradesmen and builders, they're part of the lifeblood of the city that keep this, that are getting the city built, aren't they? Getting everything done with the materials from Travis Perkins. And we don't, and we also love animals and we don't want an unhappy cat. So we sent some cat treats round to Wendy yesterday, and they went down really well. A basket of like cat treats and toys and stuff went down brilliant. We've asked her, is there anything we can do to end this feud? We want it to end. We want a happy ending. We are the show that saves the city. So she said that her major problem is the shelving, the racking that's at the end of the street there near the big sign.
Yeah.
That's her real problem. She said if Travis Perkins were to put some trees in front of them, in front of that racking, everything would be fine.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually, because we could grow the trees and then we could cut them down and sell the timber. So it could, I think that could possibly work. So,
it's win-win. It is win-win. So you will consider it?
Of course, yeah, we'll consider a lot of things.
Well, Martin, thanks for that. And now, can we ring back and find out whether this is actually going to happen? Because this is all it's going to take.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I can't see the racking coming down. But,
No, the racking can stay, but it put trees in front of the racking.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm not sure if there's any room, but, I've got an old Christmas tree in the loft. I don't mind sticking that outside.
Can you improvise? See if that...
Yeah. We'll do something.
All right. Can we leave it with you then?
Leave it with us, yeah. No
All right.
problem. I'll get onto it right now. No problem.
Fantastic. Martin...
Thanks, Martin. You've been ace.
Martin, thank you very much. All right, thanks a lot.
See you soon.
Cheers, ta-ra, bye.
Bye-bye.
I was in London yesterday, and I thought, with all this story of these environmental protesters...
Oh, yeah, what didn't he close one of the bridges?
Waterloo Bridge, I went there.
Oh, right, okay.
I went there.
Okay.
Now, as I walked up the steps, because I was down by the National Theatre, if you know the area on the South Bank, and then I have to walk up the steps to the bridge.
Right, I don't know it well, but...
The steps stunk of pee. Reeked of pee. Like a multi-storey car park.
Well, what are you suggesting here?
Well, I've since asked people who live round that way. Well, no, actually don't live around that. They work round that way. So did the steps up to Waterloo Bridge usually stink of pee? And they went, no. Since those ferals have been on the bridge.
Protesters.
Ferals.
Not feral. Protesters.
Ferals.
Right, so let me get it straight. They're protesting climate change, right?
Hey, and I'm all for... I don't think we should be pooing in our own nest. I also don't think we should be peeing on steps outdoors in London.
Is that what they're doing, though?
Yes, that's what they're doing. Apparently, the night before they'd had a party, the police told me.
Oh, right. Well,
yes.
That kind of defeats the object of the protest, doesn't it?
Ferals.
That's a bit...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit...
Yeah. White people in Hessian with dreadlocks. Ferals.
White people in dreadlocks.
Ferals.
Can we make that illegal? Can we make that a new law?
Yeah. It's cultural appropriation. It's the equivalent of blackface.
Oh no, of course it is. Yeah, totally.
White people with dreadlocks.
Totally, but
anyway,
but it's the protesters, mate. There's nothing wrong with a peaceful protest, is there?
It was pee-full protest.
Right, it's
not
better
peaceful.
Than when they're on the...
It was pee-full, full of pee. They peed on the streets of London. Peed.
It's better than when they're on the runways of the airports and stuff like that, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I'd rather have them peeing on a runway than somewhere I'm going to walk.
Yeah, I mean,
Ferals.
If they're peeing in public, yeah, that's wrong.
They are.
That's out of order.
Ferals. Ferals. And
you ask them about it, at least.
They'd infested this bridge. Anyway, well, I went up there first and had a bit of a look round. It's like you're in a bizarro world. First of all, there's loads of them doing... I thought it was Tai Chi, but I've since read in the paper this morning it was yoga.
Right, okay.
They had a yoga class on Waterloo Bridge.
That sounds, yeah, just about right, doesn't it?
But why? There's plenty of places to go and commit yoga. You don't have to do it on a public bridge that you've closed.
I was going to say, isn't that the point, though?
They closed a major... and just below the bridge, there's a whole pedestrian area outside the National Theatre where there's buskers and stuff. Have your protests down there. Don't be stopping the traffic.
Well, isn't that the point of a climate change protest, though? To stop the traffic so there's no cars on the road? I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying... Isn't that the point? Isn't that what they're trying to do? Stop cars, stop the emissions.
But you stop traffic in London, it means there's more traffic idling its engine and putting out polluting CO2. It's actually making the situation worse because the traffic can't flow.
That's actually a very good point.
So anyway, so I had a bit of a walk round, and there's tents and that they're living in these tents.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big stage. And there's music playing, there's musicians playing through a big PA system. And the PA, of course, driven by electricity. And the electricity being made by a generator. Running on petrol. Putting out fumes into the climate change protest. They could have at least had them all there riding bikes or something, stationary bikes generating the electricity. At least that would have been something. Anyway, so I had a chat with one of them. One of the ferals.
Did you ask him where the toilet was? You just point to the stairs.
I should have done, actually. But I wanted to get him on side. So I started out by saying, who are you? What's your name?
I'm Brendan.
What are you doing here, Brendan?
So I'm supporting Extinction Rebellion, and we're...
What is that then?
So we're a protest group formed last year, and we're calling for the government to take climate change more seriously.
What do you want them to do?
We want them to acknowledge that climate change is a crisis, and it's an emergency.
I think we all know that.
We all know that, but they're ignoring it.
Specifically, what do you want them to do?
So we want them to be carbon neutral by 2025.
And how would you do that?
There's a lot of scientists, very intelligent scientists, climate scientists and economists, huge amounts of people that have come up with methods to do this.
Okay, what are they?
There's, for starters, basically stop switching to sustainable energy sources.
I'm going to stop him there. He says, stop switching to sustainable energy sources.
Stop switching to sustainable energy sources.
He says, stop switching to sustainable energy sources. He got the message round completely the wrong way. So that was when I suggested a sustainable energy source. Do you think we should switch to nuclear?
It's a mix. Nuclear's got some issues, but there are other options such as wind and solar. And there's new technologies for storing the energy, which are different forms of batteries, which are less damaging than lithium and things like that.
Okay. Do you have an electric car?
No, I don't own a car.
You don't own a car?
No.
How do you get around?
I'm a student who uses public transport.
Okay.
Which is also another thing. We need more investment in public transport, which is a lot more efficient than...
Diesel buses are really polluting.
Yeah, we can use electric or other methods.
So you want the government to ban cars?
Yes.
Okay, and how does closing Waterloo Bridge today help all that?
So, it's basically making awareness and causing inconvenience because basically... What is it? So we want basically it's to make it known that we're worried about this and we care, and this is why. Sorry, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's exactly got it together. He's exactly got the message. Even he doesn't understand what they want. Okay, and how does closing Waterloo Bridge today help all that?
So, it's basically making awareness and causing inconvenience because basically... What is it? So we want basically it's to make it known that we're worried about this and we care, and this is why. Sorry, but yeah.
Thank you. What's tight about that? I asked him a fair question. Okay, you've said what you want. How does closing this bridge help us get there? And he's awareness.
He was doing well.
He wasn't doing well.
He was doing well up to that point, wasn't he?
But isn't that like the most obvious question?
Maybe that's when he started feeling stoned.
Yeah. Maybe he needed a pee. Oh, I don't know.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
Right, you know what? Been here about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that now. I don't know, it feels like an hour, but I'm getting more used to it, actually. Starting to get a little bit less nervous. Pete's operating the crane at the minute in the little cabin here, and we're just picking up our big Fix Radio scaffolding cube. Now, the fog's gone a little bit across the Manchester skyline, so I think it's time that we show the city who we are, essentially, and dangle this big massive cube over the skyline of Manchester and let the traders of this great city know who we are. This was our idea for a promotional stunt.
admittedly, it wasn't my idea to climb the crane, but here we are. And this is who we are, apparently. This is Fix Radio, and I'm Gaz Trigwater, and I am terrified. Please get me down.
I was on BBC Radio 5 Live yesterday. Did you catch it, Gaz?
Nah. I only listen to Fix.
Yeah, well, so do I, but I was on this thing about the Michael Jackson thing we're doing.
Right.
Emma Barnett was the lady's name. I think she's a good journalist. I think she's actually a good radio presenter.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is how I got on. See what you think. 5 Live yesterday.
Concludes tonight on Channel 4 featuring...
Oh, I started it. There you go.
A 2-part documentary on Michael Jackson's life concludes tonight on Channel 4 featuring further allegations that he sexually abused at least 2 young children. We've been speaking about it throughout the day here on 5 Live. Earlier, 5 Live's Your Call programme heard from listeners about how they felt about Michael Jackson's music now.
Just before we go any further, notice how she said 5 Live twice there. She goes, I'm 5 Live and we have 5 Lives this and 5 Lives that and 5 Lives that. So she understands that you've got to sell the name of the station.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Just bear that in mind for a little bit later on.
Here are a couple of callers.
He was an all-round great performer, and I think he did many good things. As everyone just talking about his dancing and his music, but he did many good things as well.
Hardcore Michael Jackson fans are very much like Trump's base, right? Like whatever Trump does, they're not going to budge. They're always gonna love him. But I was left feeling really cynical, and I something's just not. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all.
Michael Jackson, of course, strongly denied the allegations made against him over the years. But one radio station has made up its mind already. Fix Radio, which broadcasts on digital in London and Manchester, mostly for listeners in the building and construction trades, has banned Michael Jackson's music from its station. And we thought it'd be interesting to hear from Graham Mack, who's Fix Radio's programme director, as a reaction, if you like, to this documentary. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Emma.
Why have you taken this decision?
Well, I saw the documentary, the first part, on Tuesday night, and then after I'd seen the second part on Wednesday night, I felt uncomfortable hearing Michael Jackson's music from then on, and knowing that the thing was going to be on Channel 4 last night, it was yesterday morning, we decided that we'll take his music off the playlist.
I mean, as I just said, the allegations were denied throughout his lifetime. He's, of course, no longer here to fight them himself. So do you think in some ways you're playing judge and jury?
There's no doubt that Michael Jackson acted inappropriately. I mean, a 30-year-old man sleeping with a 7-year-old child is inappropriate. But having seen the documentary, it looks to me like something definitely did go on.
Of course, that's what a lot of people who got in touch today were saying as well. A lot of people on Twitter, but of course there's the other side, very passionate people on the other side saying, that he's not here to defend himself. This isn't true. Talking about the credibility of those 2 men who are featured in the documentary. I should also mention the Jackson estate statement, which says this is yet another lurid production and an outrageous, pathetic attempt to exploit and cash in on Michael Jackson. Wade Robson and James Safechuck, those are the 2 men, have both testified under oath that Michael never did anything inappropriate to them. Safechuck and Robson filed lawsuits against Michael's estate. Both lawsuits were dismissed. This so-called documentary is another rehash of dated and discredited allegations. It's baffling why any credible filmmaker would involve himself with this project.
That was a long question, wasn't it, Gaz?
Yeah, a little bit. How many questions was there?
I don't know. I don't even know if it was a question.
I know.
All I know is it's like the BBC, because it's typical BBC, they have to cover themselves. They have to have both sides of the argument in case it
That's all that's happened. That's all that's happened there. She just brought up the other side and didn't even ask anything interesting. Like, I wanted to hear more of your opinion, of your side of the story. I didn't want to hear the other side.
I was told when I went to radio school that a great interview is short questions and long answers.
Yes.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know whether it's me or her speaks next to you. Well, if the documentary makes other people feel like it made me feel after seeing it, I don't think our audience wants to hear Michael. I mean, our audience is predominantly men. We're a radio station for builders and tradespeople in London and Manchester. Okay, so I've got the plug in there for the radio station. So I'm going to ding this every time I get a plug in. So that's one, okay? And remember, she's already done 2 for 5 Live.
Including hers, yeah.
Oh, no, and she did 1 for us as well.
Yeah.
Okay, right. And our audience are dads and sons and brothers and uncles. And if they don't want to hear it, well, then we're not going to play it.
And is that the feedback you've had?
Well, we've had quite a range of feedback, as you can imagine, because we live in a world of social media and Twitter, and our listeners seem to be very much behind what we're doing by not playing his music. Michael Jackson fans, on the other hand, are the other way. In fact, Steve Brookstein, the X Factor winner, he called us effing idiots on Twitter, so thanks for that, Steve. Did you like that bit?
I love that. You should have
that actually happened.
X Factor has been, though. You should have gone fully in for him.
I was in 2 minds whether to say, listen, Steve, we'd ban your songs if any of them were any good.
Yes,
but we're not playing them anyway. If you'd had any hits, we'd stop playing them too.
Yes.
Well, I chickened out. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
And I've just found out that we have promotional vans that deliver bacon sandwiches to building sites. We've given away over 20,000 bacon sandwiches in the last couple of years to building sites in London and Manchester.
Can you drop one off here as well, please? Yeah, go on.
One of our fleet of vans has been vandalised this morning. It was at a building site in Banstead in South London, and MJ's Innocent has been scrawled on it in what looks like spray paint.
Wow.
Now, she says, wow. Right?
Yeah.
But that's a scoop. That was 5 Live. That actual moment there. I mean, I've tweeted it since, and it's out there now, and it's been picked up by. There's Australian media organisations have reported this now, that the van was vandalised. But I gave 5 Live, which is supposed to be a news organisation, a solid gold scoop, and she just goes, "Wow." She should have just gone, because I didn't warn them, I was going to say, because I literally had only just found out. But I think they missed a trick there. So the reaction has been, both sides of it. Yeah, but I mean, our audience seemed to think we're doing the right thing.
Yes, although that's quite an astonishing attack already.
Yes.
I mean, there is an argument.
And then they move on. She just left it.
She should have made more of a big deal of that. The fact, can we just stop a minute and just talk about how mental it is that someone has done that?
Yeah. I was quite impressed they put the apostrophe in the correct place, though. So they're obviously a well-educated vandal. It said MJ's Innocent.
Wait, it wouldn't have an apostrophe then, would it?
MJ's, yeah, between MJ apostrophe S. It didn't say MJ is innocent. It said MJ's innocent with the apostrophe in the right place. Anyway,
argument that you can separate art from the artist, even if you don't like something you've heard about the artist. Of course, that could be a very mild way of describing your reaction and others' reaction to what they see in this very harrowing documentary. But what about that idea that, you can still enjoy the music even if the person making the music is not to your taste or has been alleged to have done something?
Well, how many people buy Hitler's paintings? Now, was that too far?
BBC Radio 5 Live, you didn't bat an eyelid, mate. You just went straight out with it. You're comparing him to Hitler. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just drop the H-bomb.
Now, Julie says I went too far. She says I lost a bit of credibility there. She says up until then I was doing well.
I don't think you've lost credibility. I just think that people often roll their eyes instantly as soon as they hear about someone being compared to Hitler, because he's like the worst person ever.
Yeah.
No one will ever be as bad as him. And it's like Michael Jackson was awful, but he wasn't as bad as Hitler. So a lot of people would just be like, right, well, he's exaggerating now.
Anyway,
I love that.
I mean, that's a bit more of a reach, isn't it?
I don't know, but if you're talking about if you're separating the art from the man, could you say You know, would you go to an exhibition of pay to go to an exhibition of Hitler's art? I mean, it's all part of who you are.
Yeah, but it's not quite a fair comparison, is it, in any way? Because Hitler's famous for killing a lot of people, that's to say the least. And also, but he wasn't famous as an artist. I mean, Michael Jackson, regardless of where you stand on this, has made some of the best songs to dance to last century.
What's she getting at
debatable.
there? Is she saying that because Michael Jackson was more successful as an artist than Hitler was?
Yeah.
You can't make the comparison. I think she should have gone with, you can't make the comparison. Hitler was a mass murderer and Michael Jackson has not been accused of murder. That would have been the place to take me down on that. I think she missed another trick there.
I think she was saying that, like, yeah, Hitler's bad, but, you know, he wasn't talented enough to get away with it.
Is that what, it does sound a bit like that, doesn't it?
It's the vibe I'm getting.
Absolutely no doubt about it. And Fix Radio is a radio station for people to listen to while they're busy working on building sites, doing physical work. And so,
all right,
songs
we've got the cell now. Go on.
Okay, but songs like, actually, I'd only done 2. That's only the second one, isn't it? I'd done 2, but she did 2 for 5 live at the beginning. I've only evened the score here.
It feels like she's been told by a producer, make sure he doesn't say the name of his radio station too much, because this is the BBC,
but
they don't want to be seen to promote things.
This is something I don't get with media in Britain, is they don't like paying for stuff. Like, the only reason I went on 5 Live was to promote this radio station to tradesmen and builders who I know listen to 5 Live because of the sport. So, you know, have you ever been interviewed on an American radio station, Gaz?
No, I have actually, for a sports one.
Do you notice at the end of the interview they go, hey, where can we find out more about you? You got a website, you got a Twitter, let us know. And they do that at the very end of every interview.
Yeah.
And the BBC never do that. And then they get sniffy about in the middle of the interview if you happen to just drop it in. Well, that's how you're not paying me a fee to be here. This is how you pay for my time by giving me. So I'll give you something of what you want, which is interesting discussion about something this radio station's done. Will you give me something I want, which is publicity for my radio station? But they don't seem to want to pay for it.
It's because they think they're better than you, I think.
Do you think? I don't know, but I notice with Americans, they always... anyway. Thriller and Beat It and Billie Jean and Bat... You know, great, fantastic songs, because we only play up-tempo songs, and he was a core artist. But when you hear them now, it's like hearing Gary Glitter.
For you, that's how you feel. Do you think you'll stick to this?
As long as, well, I think so. I mean, as long as the audience, as long as the feeling of the audience, you know, we're here for our audience, and as long as if in 10 years' time our audience are asking, you know, why aren't you playing Michael Jackson anymore? Well, then maybe we'll look at it. But right now, we get the feeling that they just don't want to hear it.
All right, thanks very much for talking to us this morning, or this afternoon now. Graham Mack, Fix Radio's programme director, they've made the call to take Michael Jackson off the airwaves. You may have a view on that. Are you going to stop listening to Michael Jackson? Of course, the number's 85058 08285 909 693. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Nahal Al-Thanaika is going to continue the debate on 5 Live, asking...
then they go on and then they move on to something else. Yeah. I don't know.
Good stuff, though, mate. You got the name out there, but it's a weird interview, isn't it? It is a weird interview.
I think she's good, though. I actually think, you know, she even warmed to me a little there.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I do think that, but I almost feel sorry for her a little bit, because when someone like you calls up and you are so strongly against Michael Jackson, which after watching the documentary, I am as well personally, then she almost... has to play devil's advocate.
BBC have to do that because the BBC have to have this weird thing called balance, and nobody wants balance, because everybody knows that every real human being has an opinion on most things, and I bet she's got an opinion on Michael Jackson, and she can't share it. She has to, because if she had 2 guests, if she'd put me on with Steve Brookstein, then she could just play ringmaster.
Yeah.
And just let the 2 of us go for it, because it's balanced. Then you've got 1 from each side, but it catches the BBC out, this obsession with balance, like this MMR vaccine thing, where you had some loonies saying that vaccinating children is wrong, and doctors, credible doctors, saying, no, it's the only way to go. It's irresponsible not to vaccinate your children. But because they had to show balance, they had to give the same amount of credibility to the lunatics and the crazies.
Exactly.
Well, that's not balance.
No,
that's giving them way too much airtime than they deserve. The BBC, the broadcasting in this country, obsessed with this balance thing. Forget balance. Let's have real people on the air telling you what they think. And if you disagree, ring them up and disagree with them. But this where did this balance thing come from? Because I actually felt sorry for her a bit there, because I don't want to say what she thinks, but I think she may have agreed with me. I
think so, yeah.
And sometimes, let's not say she did, but I'm saying that sometimes BBC presenters are forced into a position that they are completely opposed to. Well, you shouldn't do that to people. Let them be real.
And it's a very awkward sort of position to be put in as well for her there, where she's, if what we said then is true, and if she does actually, believe, if she is on your side,
take her.
She's being told to defend an awful man.
We'll take her and take me and this topic out of the conversation, and just look at any BBC presenter who has to interview somebody who has a reasonable view about something. They have to take the unreasonable side of the argument,
exactly,
for balance. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and I don't know why. And people are uncomfortable in this country as listeners when they hear real proper radio where people have opinions and points of view. I can remember when I first came to this. First came to this country. I was born here, but I lived in Australia and New Zealand for 14 years. When I came back to Britain in 97, and I was on the radio in Bournemouth, people used to complain. One guy complained, lots of people kept saying this, he shouldn't be allowed to go on there and spout his own point of view.
Right, well, who's completely missing the point of the whole the whole medium. And
it wasn't particularly that they were offended by what I was saying. It's just they'd never heard radio like that. Now we've come a long way since 97. We're a bit closer, and we've got more commercial stations where you're given a little bit more leeway. But Ofcom fined, who was it the other week for not being balanced and all this on a commercial station? I mean, we've got to get over this, that this balance is hurting debate, and it's stopping people being real, and it's holding back the medium of radio. A lot of people not happy about this. Andy's at the Hot Potato, the food van outside the Screwfix in Salford. What do you reckon, Andy?
It's totally wrong, because who at the time had that phone, though?
Exactly.
Who actually had that phone? So that's a load of B-O-double-L, as you say.
But if they've just pulled them over, they can see what speed they were doing just before they pulled them over. Because they know the phone was in that car.
Yeah, they'll be there and then, but I mean, they can't just look at your phone and say you were speeding yesterday or...
Well, they are. They're going back, though. They are going back over periods of time, yeah. Do
you not think it's a bit of an invasion of privacy, Andy?
It is a bit, yeah, it is a bit, mate, totally. It's bad enough, this state, as it is. They want to know the ins and outs of a duck swab, you know what I mean? Don't agree with that at all.
So what do you think we should do then?
Have a protest about it,
A protest?
It's ridiculous driving laws nowadays. Yeah.
You don't think, though, this could keep us safe? In one way, it catches more speeding drivers, and another way, it encourages you to not have your phone switched on in the car.
Yeah, well, no, but they'll probably be able to track it by GRP anyway, can't they? They'll know even if it's switched off.
I don't know about that. I'm just guessing if it's switched off, it's not going to register it. All right.
Nah.
And have you had many people come in the cafe and talk about that? Because apparently everyone in Manchester's talking about this and how bad it is.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll put Scott on.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Scott.
Hello, Scott.
Is that Scott?
Graham Mack Gaz, how you going?
Yeah, how you doing, pal? You all right?
Yeah, we're on about this thing that everyone's talking about how the police are pulling people over, taking their phone off them, plugging their mobile phone into a gizmo that tells them whether they were speeding, and they're issuing speeding tickets based on what the phone says. Now, round your way, what are people saying about this?
Yeah, it's happening quite often. I mean, I work a lot with truck drivers, and they're actually saying that a couple of them have been pulled, and they're doing tests on their phone.
Yeah.
And obviously with a truck they can do it through the tacho anyway.
Yeah.
To regulate it, but it's conflicting stories on it as well.
How do you mean conflicting stories?
Well, they're saying what they've got on their tacho because trucks are limited to like 56 mile an hour.
Yeah.
But obviously they're cruising down there where you can go a bit faster than that.
Yeah.
And they're picking it up on their phones.
Is that right? And they're picking them up that way. And so truck drivers are outraged by this as well.
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, thank you very much, Scott.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Cheers. It seems like this is a real issue now. I'd like to know what you think about this and whether this has happened to you yet. Graham Mack, 10 floors up above Manchester on a construction site. It's the downtown apartment complex on the banks of the River Irwell. Hundreds of luxury apartments on a 150-foot high crane that Gaz is operating right now. He's going to lift a banner. As we go over and have a look at what's happening now, and I can see that the hook of the crane that Gaz is operating is now heading towards the cube that we've made up with the fixed banner on it that we want to fly over Manchester, over the skyline of Manchester. It's about a 5 metre square scaffold with fixed radio written on each side. The side I'm looking at now, I can just about see Fix Radio Manchester. We asked people to call in with ideas of what we can do to get known in Manchester as the brand new radio station for tradesmen and builders, and this is what you said do. You said get a crane on one of the sites and lift the banner above it. Gaz has climbed to the top of this crane and is operating it with Pete, the crane operator, right now, and it's off the ground. We've actually got the cube has taken flight. It is airborne now. There's a drone in the sky filming this. You'll be able to see this at fixradio.co.uk, and the crane has definitely got the weight of the cube as our crowd here, which is gathered on top of the 10th floor of the construction site here, are open-mouthed. Made for the trade is what it says on the other side. So we've got four sides. First side says Fix Radio Manchester. The next side says Made for the Trade. So you can tell that we're the radio station for builders and tradespeople. The banner will fly over the skyline of Manchester. Fix Radio. On the phone, Liam Watkins, Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police. Chief Constable, what's this all about?
We have started taking speeding very seriously, and we have introduced a new technological advancement where we can seize people's phones that we consider have been speeding, plug it into a mobile gizmo, and it tells us the speed that they've been doing and all the times that they have broke the speed limit.
Surely this is an infringement on people's privacy. Surely this isn't right.
Could not disagree more.
A lot of people who've called up this morning have been quite angry about this. What have you got to say to them?
My response to them is stick within the parameters. They're there for a reason.
But everybody speeds a little bit every now and then, and as long as it's not at a place where there's cameras or something, no one's any the wiser. It's not a big deal. People could be getting tickets when there's really nothing on the road or in the middle of the night or something. Exactly. Is that fair?
What an irresponsible comment. It's because of people like you that we have had to invest hard-earned cash that's allocated to us by the government into this technology. At the end of the day, regardless of whether this car's on the road, it is for your safety that the speed limits are in place.
I'm not condoning speeding. I'm just stating a fact that everybody speeds a little bit, a couple of miles over the speed limit every now and again. And
doesn't hurt anyone, does it, that?
Yeah.
A little bit.
And this is just a little bit heavy-handed from Greater Manchester Police.
At the end of the day, the laws are there, they're in place, and they're there for a reason. We will continue to use this technology. We will continue to prosecute people. Cars are now designed to keep within the speed limit. You have got a cruise control on there. There's no ifs and buts. There are no grey areas in this. Stick to the speed limit. Your colleague has just said everybody goes a couple of miles an hour above the speed limit. Well, how about trying to go a couple of miles an hour below the speed limit?
Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police, Liam Watkins, thanks for your time this morning. One more question. How do I get a ticket to the policeman's ball?
Greater Manchester Police don't have any balls.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.
All right. We've swung it round 360 degrees. I think that's good enough. I think the traders of Manchester should know who we are after this. But we are Fix Radio, made for the trade. We are for the traders of Greater Manchester. We are brand new. We're on DAB, online, and it's just the best thing to get you through work, especially in the mornings with me and Graham Mack from 7 till 9 a.m. on the brand new Fix Radio Manchester Breakfast Show. I'm getting down now because I'm absolutely terrified. I don't think I'm cut out to be a crane driver. Nowhere near do I have the skill set of some of the guys here, but yeah, big thank you to Pete for helping me through this. I'm gonna get down now and hopefully never get back up again.
The Full Fix Breakfast with Graham Mack Gaz.